Hello guys, Hyperion here, back with another video. Today we're taking a look at the Nordic Knight set. This set will be released alongside the other ST set being the Cuboid Necromancer, which if you haven't seen the video, check it out. It's a very fun game-changing set. So, like all new ST sets, for the first month or so, getting this can only be done via the paid Story of War campaign, and then later on it'll come out for all of us to grind for. Where will this set drop? No clue as of yet, but we can take guesses. The Necromancer was super easy to guess. It literally looks like one of the mobs in the third dimension. But this Nordic Knight? The only thing that's close to Nordic is the Ice Cave, so I'm confident some of the pieces might drop there. And since its release is over a month away, there's a possibility it could drop from a new Nordic themed dungeon. I'll let you guys know where it drops once the set is released in the realm. It'll be in the pinned comment and description. Now let's get to the set. When you equip all 4 pieces, you transform into the Nordic Knight. I really like this skin, especially walking around. I feel like I'm very lightweight, even as a knight, and a lot of that has got to do with the speed bonus this set offers, but we'll get to that later. And I just love the way he holds the axe. Just look at those slashes. One thing though, and I just noticed this, is that when he looks left, his shield is on his right arm, and when he looks right, his shield is on his left arm. What? He must be swapping awfully fast to do that. Is there something in the shield that he doesn't want me to see? Well, if you shoot upwards, we can see where it's trying to hide. Then again, all Realm sprites are like this. They just flip the character. It would be cool if you could see the other side of the characters. Like for this guy, I would love to see the shield. Other than that, I really like this outfit. The helmet, the axe, and how lightweight it feels, it's just nice. On to the items. First up, we have Dalva's Battle Axe. Oh, cool. Another axe weapon. It does 200 to 210 damage. It has 4.41 range, which is nice, and a solid 120% rate of fire. Let's see how it shoots. So the shots are almost normal, but by the end of it, they linger for a very long time, almost like the Void Blade. I could see some cool applications to this like the Void Entity. You can stack up a few shots before it activates, and you get free early damage. The shot sprite looks great. The way it spins and all, it makes me want to shoot more. But when you do miss the shots, these shots pile up on the floor and ain't gonna lie, they do feel a bit distracting. Time to see how good this set is in the DPS calculator. Just looking at this graph, the DPS doesn't look too good. Tier 12 weapons are the benchmark for decent DPS, and unfortunately the Battle Axe falls behind. I didn't include the other top tier sword because it is immediately evident that this sword isn't top tier. It's weaker than the Sword of Acclaim. But does that mean it's bad? Hell no! Look at the Arcane Rapier, all the way down here. Lower than the Crystal Sword. It's still a nice sword. This guy used it to tackle the minions when soloing the Void Entity. DPS on this chart doesn't define everything. But yeah, so the con is that its damage output is a little lacking. But what does this sword have that's good? 4.41 range. That's really good. It's about the same range as the Crystal Sword, so it's a very high range sword, and it has lingering shots. The lingering shots can be more potential DPS if you utilize the stacking. The way I see it, it's actually a better Acclaim, so I guess it's a good equip. Definitely not top tier, but it's not bad. Never mind, you can make circles with it. This is the best sword in the game. On to the Sunken Buckler. That looks like a seal to me. I'd definitely fall for it if someone leaked this set earlier and said this set was for the Paladin. So it does a pretty low 165 to 185 damage, but it fires a huge 10 shots. Sounds like a nice number, but that's only about 1700 damage. That's not really much, especially because it costs a whopping 120 mana to use. 120 MP for a 2.5 second stun seems to be pretty damn inefficient. Not even max Divine Pets can keep it up. Like most shields, it hits multiple targets and passes through obstacles. It only stuns for 2.5 seconds. Normally shields have a 3-second stun duration. Its passive stats are decent though. 10 defense, 6 speed and 4 vitality. I'm a fan of speed. Anything that gives at least 5 speed for a 50 speed class is great. It really does help and it can save you. Let's see what the shield does. So it fires a very wide spread of stunning shots that stay for about 3 seconds. Maybe 2.5 seconds. Now I find this very interesting. With these shots staying in place for so long, they sort of act like landmines, each one packing a 2.5 second stun. So if an enemy touches this one, he'll be stunned. And then if he walks to this shot, he'll be stunned again. For a moving target, this will quite often be a longer stun, but what's cooler is the spread. If you plan to use this shield, just keep in mind that you will not be doing much damage at all. Anyways, with this spread, in places like Godlands, you'll be able to shut down a whole heap of them. It's cool when you press spacebar and there's just a bunch of vibing enemies. So this may not be the best shield for damage or for stunning single mobs, but this might be our first true AoE shield, and it's pretty good at silencing a lot of mobs at once. On to the armor, the chainmail body armor. This item has no special perks. It gives 21 defense, 4 speed, and 6 vitality. Nothing notable here, but it's decent. I'd use this over an Acropolis armor, that's for sure. In my opinion, with high defense melee classes, having more speed is better than having a little bit more defense, especially on a knight with 40 base defense. For the final piece of the set, we have the Jalahorn. One of them's bound to be correct. This one's interesting. It gives 60 HP, 4 attack, and 4 defense. Similar to an Expo, which is decent, but it has 2 perks. One is on shoot, you get armored for 5 seconds if you're below 33% health, with a cooldown of 25 seconds. It's actually a nice perk because that may be able to save your cheeks here and there. But now onto the spicy effect. If you have Dalvar's Battle Axe on as well, when you use your ability, you get 4 seconds of Berserk with a 7-second cooldown. How cool is that? Your own personal Berserk. I mean, a knight that can self-berserk. So for solo play, that makes this set's DPS pretty nice. It really compensates for the sword's lacking power, so now you have power and range. There's multiple other things you can do with this, and it's not just for the knight. All you need to pull off this berserk effect is to have the battle axe on. This means you can utilize this on a paladin and a warrior too. Although a warrior wouldn't be needing this much because he can berserk with his helmet anyways. But a paladin? This class's ability gives it a damaging buff. So combined with this ring, you get higher fire rate and higher damage, making for a mean combo. This thing is awesome, I like it. It's not really that universal, but it makes for a cool 2-piece synergy. Another thing I'd like to point out is this one also looks similar to the Exalted God's Horn, and both items revolve around increasing your fire rate. Now, what's the full set like? You end up with a solid 950 HP, 252 MP, 60 attack, 75 defense, 72 speed, 56 dexterity, 85 vitality, and 50 wisdom. This is a great spread of stats. You got a good damage boost with 10 attack and 6 dexterity combined with a berserk. You also got that good survivability, having 950 health and 75 defense. And to top it off, you have 72 speed on a knight. You run so fast. I just realized this is like a pseudo warrior. You move fast and you have berserk. The only flaw I see in this stat distribution is the lack of mana you have. You get no boost. You only have enough room for 2 stuns. Are the items of the set worthy as individual pieces of equipment? The battle axe surely is. If you use the crystal sword, this is a straight up jacked upgrade to that. Much better. And you can mess around with the little void blade like shots. The shield? It's pretty niche, but it's also pretty fun. I'd definitely be silencing the Godlands with it. The armor is shit. There's just so many average armors. This falls in that category. You can use it, but it can be seen as a stock armor. Nothing great at all. The ring is a side grade to the experimental ring. I would only use this with the battle axe though. So my thoughts on this set? It's good. Not amazing, not average, not bad, just good. Even with all the bonus damage output and all, you won't be having endgame DPS, but you will be hitting fairly hard. All these other stats are great except for the lack of mana. The ability is really cool and fun to mess around with, but pretty niche. Overall, this set is great fun. It has a nice aesthetic and I seriously like using that shield. As you can see here, all these beads are getting shut down constantly, even when this shield eats up so much mana.
Yeah, sure. Do you want me to, I would deafen myself, hold on. Or do you want to mute yourself?
I'm saying one line, don't worry, you can hear my beautiful commentary voice. So that's about all there is for my video.